Always sure, not sure exactly. We're live. All right, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Groups Group. I'm not sure which episode we are in, but we are here today with our friend JB Sallee from Texas. JB, give us a shout out.
Hey guys, how are y'all?
And of course, my fearless co host, Jen Lewis from somewhere on the East Coast.
Oh, nice. We're getting further and further away every week.
Right.
Minutes away from
I'm
each
just going with generalizations. This past week, I started to interview David and Sherry Buck, and I forgot David's name while I was trying to introduce him. It was like his name just like flew out of my head, and it was embarrassing. But that's the fun of being live, right? So anyway, JB, if you guys are watching, I see we've got a few people on here, and I'm going to stall a little bit while we're waiting for some other people to join us. Please say hello in the chat box. If you have not hit that subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button so that we can reach you every week. We can get some messages out to you. And then every week that we set one of these up, there's a little reminder button. Bang, mash that button and help us out. And we'll keep going like this. So I'm thrilled to have JB here today. He's from his studio in Texas, and earlier in the week we did an interview with him where he was showing us products that he uses to sell his clients, and he took us around his gorgeous studio. Super jealous of the space that he has, but if you know his story, which I'll let him tell, he's worked very hard to create a space that he has, and even more importantly, worked very hard in creating the products that he uses to sell. So JB's topic today is good. Is album sales good, better, best? Correct, JB?
Yes, sir. You got it.
Excellent. So one of the things that I know about JB is, and his wife, who they have their business Sallee Photography together, is they do absolutely beautiful work, and they've really focused on their craft and the things that they do. But more importantly, it's really about the products that they sell to their clients, and the things that these heirlooms that they create either by hand or products that they've come to love that they now service their clients with. And by doing so, it really allows them to really separate themselves from the pack. And when you hire them as photographers, you're really getting a unique product. So, JB, I'm going to let you take it away from here.
Sure. Hey guys, JB Sallee from Dallas. We've been in business for almost 18 years now. We have a little gallery space on the canals in Las Colinas. I'll spin this around a little bit. Try not to break my phone. And I'll show it off a little later.
Bikes are still there.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep. Can you hear us all right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
So we started out by photographing high school senior drill teams and cheerleader teams at my wife's old high school. And we thought we're going to shoot high school seniors and just do it for fun, maybe a couple of years. We both had other jobs. And then all of the high school seniors booked us for senior portraits. So we had 22 senior portraits right away after this one drill team shoot. And then we booked another 28 weddings from their siblings and their friends. Before we even ever shot a single wedding, we had 32 weddings on the books.
Wow.
And yeah, it was a little scary. We were taking $16.50 was our top package back then. And I think our cost of goods was about 150%. So we were actually paying people to hire us to shoot their weddings. We didn't know anything about cost of goods. I studied fine art photography in college. My wife studied psychology. So we quickly figured it out. After our first year, I think we brought in $120,000, which is really good for a 23 and a 21-year-old mom and pop studio. And then we realized we got to pay taxes. So we barely made any money that first year. I think we lost some money, of course, buying equipment. But we learned something about cost of goods. It's huge, and I want to talk about that today. A lot about cost of goods. You got to know what your products cost you and make sure you're making profit off your products. If you're not making profit, you're just a starving artist, and that's no fun. We love what we do. We love our clients, but they realize we have overhead. We have bills. We have taxes, just like everybody else in this country. So we've got to charge accordingly as professional photographers. And to do that, it helps to have professional products. That's the easiest way to make a profit. It shows something beautiful that people have to have.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's funny what you're saying about all the weddings you were taking on, and you thought you were making a lot of money. I went through the exact same thing 13 years ago when I started. It's funny how much we learn about business. If we don't know it going into it, you learn really quick after that first
really
year.
quick.
The CPA is like, yes, you're in the negative, and you're like, okay, gotta fix this. So
That's right.
yeah, you've come a long way. That's good.
It's been fun too.
Yeah.
It's been a fun journey. And I remember our first day of business, we studied film photography our entire career in college, of course, and never touched a digital camera until we got out of college, and everything went digital that year, 2001, 2002. And it was an interesting change for us to go from film to digital, and really a big part of our success. I mean, we can shoot a lot more being digital and have people touch up the images for us if need be, and produce products for us pretty fast. Where in the old days, I worked for another studio, Fran Reisner Photography out of Dallas, Texas, for a year and a half, and she taught me the ropes. And she was still doing all medium format film, which is another 1 hour conversation we can have. It's a lot of man hours to take that negative, tape it down, send it to the lab, do a paper order form. Everything was just a lot slower back then with paper. So being digital is very, very
Gosh, do you remember those envelopes? I'm sorry, I got to go back a little bit. So you would take, it came in these envelopes. They were about these yellow envelopes. They were kind of cellophane envelopes, and you would take your negative and you would put it up in this box, and then you'd choose a crop. It was like an ABCD crop.
Yep.
And I remember back in the day, my boss, who JB, I don't know if you knew this, I shot for a wedding photographer for probably 10 years before I went out on my own. And I just did it for him on the side. And him was always like, you're a C crop. Just stick with the C crop. And that was my life. Like, I was the C crop photographer. And he was cool with it. Right.
C crop group.
And he would do it. He'd put the thing on a light box. He'd put the negative. And then you'd fill it out. You'd stick it in. You'd come back. And that's how you would make your prints.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Kind of miss it a little bit.
I was going to say, the good part about that, you can shoot your rolls of film, send them off, and be done with it. Now we all sit down at the computer and drink way too many Cokes to stay awake and gain weight. So
Right.
So are you doing your own touching, JB?
We do. 97.3%.
Exactly 97.3?
Yeah. If I'm out of town and something needs to come back in a rush, we hired Jonathan Penny. He's been great for all these years. He's actually much better than what I can do. So it's kind of a bonus when clients get him versus me. But yeah, he's always, anytime we have a bind or we're backed up, we have a ton of weddings, Jonathan Penny helps us out.
Yeah,
Probably
so
15 years of our career.
Yeah, Jonathan Penny, I have to say nice things about him as well. And he's done absolutely beautiful work for photographers. And I think, JB, before we get started, I think I want to talk to you a little bit about, you've spent a lot of time honing your craft and learning compositing and Photoshop and retouching. And you've also spent a lot of time learning how to enter image competitions, and you use that as a way to really, really hone your craft. I just take a few minutes in talking to us about why you do that. I know a lot of photographers out there will talk about how it's a waste of time entering competitions and stuff like that. And in my years at WPPI, I got to know the competition as well, and I watched the growth of photographers, and I can't say enough about spending the time to enter competitions. Just talk to us a little bit about that before we get started.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm just the creative type. I was the darkroom instructor for college for 3 years, so I had the key to the darkroom and the code to get in at night. And I would sit there with one fiber print for 8 hours, and I would perfect that one fiber print. And it was all for my class, and it was a print competition style. You take your print up, you have it mounted nicely in a 16 by 20, and you'd line up the 10 prints for the 10 students. The instructor would go by and pick first through 10. And it was competitive, and I loved it.
Yes, I remember that.
And yeah, so that's
brutal.
It started there with me. But one thing I remember about college, they put the prints 8 feet away, and the instructor had a line. You could not cross the line, and I really appreciated that. Nowadays, you see these judges get a couple inches away with their glasses on, and I'm like, oh, that's a little too close. Just back up a little bit. Maybe a little soft. Who knows?
Right.
But yeah,
right.
I got the competitive streak from that, and just to hone in and really perfect your craft. And you're doing it for your clients. You're not doing it for awards. I mean, we have some awards if you can see it, and these are diets as well.
Yeah. Yep, there they
So
are.
we have awards, and it looks really good when clients come in. It adds to our perceived value. When we started, we were 23 and 21, and we didn't have a lot to show value of what we could give to our clients. So nowadays, we have a storefront, we have awards, we have recognitions and things like that, and that helps to show that we are of value.
Yeah, and I think there's definitely been a lot of arguments about, whether or not there's a value there, but you can't argue the fact. And JB, if you don't mind, actually, I want you to swing over to those awards again, because I think it's important. If you are, um, imagine you're a client coming in and you see that. Okay, they may just be pieces of plexiglass, or in some cases glass, depending on if you're WPPI or not.
They used to be crystal.
Right, they used to be crystal. But I think that it's important. It doesn't matter. They look the same in my.
Right.
But imagine you're walking into the studio and you see, who are you going to hire? The guy who's got the wall of awards, who has all of these unique products on the walls, and then, or the other person who says, oh, that's bullshit, and why would I want that? So I think it's now that we can see it, I think it's really valuable the way you see that up there on the wall. So anyway,
I do have to say the awards backfire sometimes. We have people walk into the gallery and say, oh, do you print trophies? We're like, no, we're not. It's happened about, seriously, maybe 9 times. I can't even make this up, because they can see it when they walk down. I'm like, oh, man.
Well, they might be.
No, but we shoot pretty pictures.
I'm going to order some of those and just make a wall myself.
Yeah, it's much cheaper that way. Trust
Yeah,
me.
definitely.
I've done the math. I'm probably at $25,000 between both of us.
Right.
19 years of competing. But
you wouldn't.
Importantly,
you wouldn't have those pictures on the walls, the ones that are just over your shoulder, and it doesn't matter. Nobody's going to believe you if you're not putting together that work. You would never spend that kind of time putting together an image the way you do. You're servicing your clients most of the time, and you are shooting for your portfolio. But at the end of the day, like, you're never going to spend the amount of time that you do on those prints that you are for competition, and that's what really sets people apart. And I've seen that happen over and over. As a matter of fact, Jen, you had never entered competitions before as well, and then a couple years ago you had started winning some competitions, and it was really the difference between where your work was. It was definitely you're going from here to here, and it really made a big difference. Mainly because you had a really great lighting instructor who was helping you so much over the years. I'm just saying.
And it definitely builds your confidence too. And a lot of us, sometimes we need that. We need our confidence built up a little bit and people to pat us on the back, because clients don't really build our confidence. They just see the price tag sometimes. I have a 10% factor of clients. 10% of our clients can see the difference. The other 90%, they're just happy to have a nice photographer.
Right.
Going to get along with the wedding party.
Yes, that's true. That is true. So, all right, JB, I'm going to let you kind of take over here a little bit.
Sure. So where should we start? Should we start with the bad?
Well, actually, I think let's do like an abridged version of the products that you showed for the podcast. So let's start there.
I'm going to go backwards.
Okay.
Albums first. And
that's fine.
With the portraits. That way people saw both. They're not bored.
Good idea.
I always like to start with mistakes that we've made in our career. And I don't want to say this is a mistake. And there's no album company logo on here, so I won't get in trouble. But this is something that was not good for our business, our first 2 years of business. This is the album we had in the package for $16.50. It didn't cost much, but there wasn't a lot of value to this. We couldn't upsell this for a lot because they're just little dinky pieces of paper. It's not even photographic paper. So I tell people, if you want to up your game and book more high-end clientele, have high-end products. This is good for baby albums or something like that, but we don't even show this anymore. For the past 10 years, we've hid this. I had to find this and bring it just for today to show.
And just describe to us what you're showing us. Like, what kind of album is this? Print press book. Okay.
And it's,
just wanted
offset printing, which will last, they say, 5 to 10 years.
Right.
And then your prints are going to fade.
Right.
Do you want that for a wedding album, for memories?
Right.
So this is us just being naive our first 2 years of business.
Okay.
We saw some speakers speak. They were sponsored by a company. We're like, oh, that looks good. They're $60 a book, so we're making some money. You don't want to put this in your client's hands. You want to make sure you have something substantial of value.
Right.
over 18 years, we don't charge 1650 anymore for a wedding. Now we start out at 4,500.
Okay.
So for that price, you really got to have something pretty. This is who we're using now. We've gone through 11 album companies in 18 years. This is who we've stuck with for the past 6.
11
serious.
album
We've
companies.
Hired 3 of them.
Okay.
One of them hired us, but we won't get into that. But this
That's
is
the story I want to hear when we're done going live.
It's not important.
It's kind of funny. No, not that story, Jason. I would never say that one. It was a company in New York. Since Jason's from New York,
I already know the company. Okay.
Yeah, and I love the president. He's awesome.
Yeah.
I'll never forget our first wedding we ever shot. We ordered a book, and I put BL for black, and it came back blue. And it's like a $200 book. So I'm like, oh my God, we're out of business. We're broke. Profit for this one wedding for $200. So I called him up. I go, hey, this is JB. I'm from Dallas, Texas, and I've got it. The lady goes, sir, can you speed it up a little bit? And I hung up the phone. I never used it again. I'm still a little timid sometimes, but I was so shy back then. I was like shaking just talking to her in the first place.
Well, so if it makes you feel any better, and again, back in the day, a lot of the album companies were based in the New York City metro area, Queens and Long Island. And I used to deal with a very small album company who was all these Russian ladies, and they even told me to speed up. So if it makes you feel any better, but I could only imagine, a guy from Dallas, and I was just like, oh, all right, I'm going as fast as I can, lady.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's just how we talk around here. But I still have the album. It's up on my bookshelf at home at my office, and it makes me laugh. It's a good memory.
Right. But it's still a quality album, though, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that was the first company we fired because I just didn't want to deal with them for customer service. So we're with Queensberry, and what we're talking about today is good, better, best.
Uh-huh.
So I made these little signs, and I hope that you guys can read this. Again, we're going to talk about cost of goods. So I want you guys to actually see the cost of goods. Take a screenshot if you need to. If you want to figure out our pricing, you can. Just reverse it. I think we're charging roughly 5 to 9 times more. So if the product cost us $200 and we mark it up 10 times, it's $2,000. But let's start with this. This is our image box from Queensberry, and we love using just one company. That way we're not going through different ordering systems and waiting for different products to come in at different times. Clients don't like that either, and it's rough on a small business. So this is our image box. I hope you guys can see this okay.
Yep.
And we had a problem with 5x7 orders. We'd have people come in, we'd shoot a 2-hour bridal session, and they would want to order 10 5x7s at $40 each. So we're making $400. And the cost of goods of 5x7s, it's nothing. So that's 1% cost of goods. They're walking out with a stack of 5x7s for $400. So they see no value. We're not making enough off that session for the time put in. We're dragging around $15,000 of equipment to shoot that session. So we came up with this. We said, now it's going to be a minimum of 10 images, and they're going to come matted. They're going to come in a nice box, and it's going to look like this. They can get 8x12s like that if they want. If you can see that okay.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm like on my tiptoes over here.
Yeah, we can see that.
This is our good product. It's the very first product we have. It's $950. You get the box, the 10 prints, mat it. It's beautiful. Every single image is fully touched up, which takes me about 10 minutes each. It's a good time.
Right.
And they get all the digital files as well.
Okay.
So the pricing on this, I've got my little cheat sheet. The first one, 10 image box, we charge $950. Our cost of goods is 24%. That's pretty crazy. That's really high for us.
Right.
The next one, if we sell 15, our cost of goods goes down to 19%, and so on to 16% and 15%. So the goal is to sell this for at least 15 images.
Gotcha.
So I also want to sell. Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. So what I think is a good point to make is what JB is showing us is something that is it's not an album, right? It's a print box, which is an interesting place to start. Because it's that's okay. We can see it. It's an interesting place to start where it's not an album, it's a print box, but it's still delivering a bunch of images that you are retouching, and you're giving them the digital file. So it still provides a lot of value, but it's a very different product than an album. And so I'm curious, it's like, so that you're starting by showing them that. What is their, like, I think most brides are coming in thinking, I want to buy an album. What is their reaction to that, as far as, oh, that's not even an album?
Well, I think the reaction is it's a better value for the client.
Okay.
So before, if they got 24 5x7s at $40 each, that's the same value or same cost as this. But the
Right.
value is so much more for the same price. They're getting something beautiful.
Okay, I gotcha.
They can display these a little better. They
Okay.
can hand them out as gifts on the wedding day.
Right.
Or at the reception. They can
Right.
bring them up.
Okay.
So there's a lot more options with this.
Right.
With loose prints, I feel like a lot of people didn't know what they wanted, so they just settled on 5x7s to get the digital file that was included. And that kind of backfired
Okay.
a lot in our business.
Okay.
We'd have a lot of clients that would try to order 25x7s just to keep the 20 files. And I said, I'll tell you what, order the Queensberry book, a 10-page for $1,250. I'll give you the 25x7s complimentary.
Mm-hmm.
That way they're walking out with the value
Okay.
other than just a stack of loose prints.
Okay. Gotcha.
So that's the goal. We want to keep our cost of goods around 15%,
Right.
but we don't want to keep it too low where we're making too much profit. And the clients can see they're not walking out with anything worth really much value.
Okay.
The digital file has no value in the client's eye anymore.
It does, just in the sense that they feel like they have to have it, right? That's the only value, is they feel like they have to have it.
Pay for that.
Well, they don't want to pay anything for it, right? So,
Exactly.
right. So, okay.
So this
So
is a
that,
good product to kind of combat that. We don't want people just coming in and trying to order a 5x7 and 8x10. That's $140, and I just spent 2 hours shooting the bridal session. It happens sometimes. All right, so I'll get the next product. This is our better product. And I'll put this little sign up here with the new pricing.
Will you switch those, JB, and do the other one? Because it's backwards on there on YouTube.
oh,
Thank you.
the thing was backwards?
Yeah, the print.
I printed it both ways just in case.
Oh, yeah, that's the one.
You're amazing.
So I'll hide those. Got it. We got one left. I'll put it over here so I'm not
All right.
confused.
Let's just
We're good
wait
to
for the quality to, it's a little pixelated, so let's just wait. There we go. There you go. All right, but now you can get your screenshot. Oh, no, you can't get it now. Can't get the screenshot now. Wait, hang on. Wait, I'm going to make the screen bigger over on the YouTube world. Okay.
Oh, that's smart.
Oh, there you go. All right, there it is.
over
Screenshot.
there?
Screenshot now. Okay. Now you can switch
Perfect.
it. Thanks, JB.
Yeah. So this is the 14x10 flush mount from Queensberry. The price is less than $250. It includes, they do all the design for us and includes the shipping as well. So we love these books. Good price from New Zealand. This has substantial value because we can fit up to 30 images in a 20-page book. So now they're getting a huge book.
Oh,
Every
yeah,
image
that's
is touched
pretty.
up and beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
They can do this for newborns, for families,
Mm-hmm.
bridals, engagement, boudoir.
Yep.
So this is where the value really lies.
Right.
And it's a good price. It's $125 a page,
Okay.
minimum 20 pages.
Okay.
So
Are you
it's
charging for
25.
images, or is there?
No, they get whatever they want.
They get whatever-
leather they want. They get whatever cover motif they want. They get up to 30 images.
Oh, okay. Up to
Perfectly
30.
touched up. Up to. So yeah,
So it's 30 images, however many pages that comes out to be.
right.
Okay.
So some of the value in this is they get all 30 images fully touched up, and they get those digital files for safekeeping. So it has
Right.
a logo on it, but they get it for safekeeping and for social media.
Okay.
But it's just a great, and this is all Jonathan Binney. He touched up all this when I was on tour. My wife
Okay.
photographed the session. So he does a great job.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So a ton of value. The client knows that we're touching up the images.
Yeah.
They know they're getting a nice product, and they know they get all 30 of the images touched up as digital files. So this is our better product. This is what we try to sell. If we're selling, I have to look at my cheat notes here. We're selling a 20-page, the cost of goods 12%. 30-page is our average. That's about 9% cost of goods. I put the 40 and 50 just for other people if they want to see it. So
Cool.
next is our
That's-
duo album.
That's the better.
That's the better.
Gotcha.
And I'll switch cards for you guys. I got cards everywhere.
Nice.
That's a duo.
Yep.
Okay, so this is the creme de la creme. We don't expect people to buy this. This was expensive when we printed this. The price has gone down substantially in the last, I think, month. Queensberry dropped their prices on everything.
Oof.
This is a pretty
I
incredible
love that
book.
size.
I know. This is the 18 by 10.
18 by 10. Okay. Two and a
Check
quarter
that
per
out.
page. Got it. Yeah.
That's one image from Olympic National Park.
Yeah.
So you can really get creative with this. You can design it yourself, or Queensberry can design it for you. And it's got these little cutouts. It's what makes it a duo.
Oh, because they're matted.
They're
Cool.
matted.
That's
It's the
beautiful.
only company I've seen that does it like this.
Yes.
All handmade, all beautiful.
Yes.
So big spreads,
Yeah.
lots of negative space.
Can't order that on Snapfish.
Exactly. So this is the 10% of clients I was talking about that really see artwork. They go for this. So we don't sell it all the time, but when we do, it's a great profit, and that means I can be really creative with this style as well.
Okay.
So this is our best book. It's expensive. 20 page for our client is $4,500, and this is the 20 page.
Okay.
So this is kind of our Whopper product. We don't expect people to get it, but the middle product is only $2,500, so it's almost half price from this. So
Wow,
people
it's a
go
big
for the middle
jump.
product most times.
Okay.
People feel comfortable purchasing in the middle, is what I find.
Right. Yep.
So cost of goods on that, it's pretty expensive. It's 19% for 20 page, 17% for 30 page, 16 or 15% as you go up with more pages.
I
So
love
that's-
that though, with it being 18 inches, like that single image that you open, that's a 36-inch print.
People love that. It's
That's
so
awesome.
different. You know what they say every time? I've never seen anything like this. And that's
Yeah.
what we're going for in Dallas. We want to be the top 10% of what we do in our business.
And and there are lots of choices out there for album companies, but it's really about finding something that's unique. Queensberry does offer some very unique products,
They do.
and there's definitely a price attached to that as well, just like anything else. But making the decision to offer those albums, I remember I had offered Queensberry albums as well as some other things. And, I was always so thrilled when, getting those Queensberry albums was very, very different product. So definitely
We
worth
just
checking
got
out.
three in today, and the studio just smells glorious. It's the best smell in the world.
That is, I do remember that smell. That is the best smell. Yes.
Okay, now I want to come to the studio and smell your studio to see
Yeah,
what
anytime. Just
album.
make sure there's some fresh books in here.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
So with our albums, it's the same mentality. We have good, better, and best for products as well. Do you want me to walk you around now, or do you guys have any questions before I do that?
I don't have any questions.
Yeah,
I think
we're
we're good.
on questions. Yeah, I'd love a tour.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. So I messed up my pretty display on the table, but I'll try to put it back real quick. That was pretty easy, actually. So let me turn this around. I can't, so I'll just do that. So when clients come in, they sit down and they do a little presentation on the screen. I sit over there and we go
Okay.
through roughly 75 portrait files. We try to get it down to like 30 or 25.
Okay.
And then these are the only products in front of them.
Right.
The goal is to sell an album and a wall portrait. Some clients say right away, no, I don't need an album. I just want some prints. And we say we have the image box. So instead of selling 5x7 prints, now we're selling something like that.
Right. And I think that is such a smart way to do it, because just handing people loose prints again is just such a waste of time, because now you're leaving it in their
It's a stab
hands.
in my heart.
Well, yeah, I mean, but because you have no idea what they're going to do. They put it up on their refrigerator, like their classic kids pictures from the big companies. Like, it's ridiculous.
And I put a lot of time into lighting things when I shoot my sessions. Sometimes I have 3 or 4 pro photo lights out there. I'm dragging this stuff around in the Texas heat, and they just get a 5x7. I'm like, you're breaking my heart. But you can't say that as a business owner or
Right.
a salesperson. So you got to be careful what you say.
Right. You look strong, so it can't be that big a deal.
All right. This is weird going this angle, but I think I got it.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So this
What is
our
that?
good. You got good, better, and best for our wall art as well. This is just a 16 by 20 E-surface on masonite. And I
Oh, cool.
strategically show people just a skinnier picture. I don't show the entire picture. And I say, oh, it's for print competition, which it was. It's not a lie.
Right.
So it looks a little smaller. But it's just E-surface, so it doesn't warp in the Texas humidity.
Yeah.
So E-surface is $1.50 a square inch. That's the least expensive way to get a wall portrait from us.
Okay.
The minimum is a 12 by 18. So I think that comes out to, I don't know, Somebody's gonna have to do the math for me. Less than $400, I think, 386 or something. So it's not much.
Right.
Next, we have our canvases. This is from Bay Photo. They do some beautiful canvases,
Yeah.
and we love them because they actually frame them as well. So we charge $2.25 a square inch for the canvases, and the frames are an extra 50 cents a square inch.
Right.
So if they want a 20 by 20, it's 20 times 20 times 2.75.
20. Wait. 20. Okay, got
I
it.
think it's like $900.
Right.
And there's a reason why we charge for the square inch. People can get custom sizes.
Uh-huh.
They can pick any size they want to fit in their house.
Okay.
It makes it easier for everybody.
Right. And so JB kind of walked us through, and this is a little bit more of a faster tour, but if you want to hear more about this, you can see the kind of the reasoning behind how he charges on our Instagram, on our IGTV, where he goes through that a little bit more. That was really hard, yeah. As well as our podcast, Something New Every Week, which is on all streaming platforms. So anyway, but yeah, I thought that this was a really neat product. That it's a canvas that's framed and really super duper unique.
The 20 by 20s. This is the G Clay. If you can see up close. Sorry, I'm having a hard time with the camera backwards, so I don't really know what I'm looking at.
Yeah, you're good.
It's got like a
Yeah,
paper.
yeah.
Then
With
it's
the
framed at the
serrated
bottom of the
edge.
frame,
Yeah.
which is beautiful. Same price, $2.75 a square inch. Then we've got our little collection of Queensberry albums over here just for display. We show people that we shoot internationally as well. And we've got another copy of this book over here. And most importantly, we have little parent books.
Uh-huh.
You know that we offer parent books. They're just a smaller size of the duos or the flush mounts. So 40 by 40. How many people out there, raise your hands, are selling 40 by 40s consistently? Not
That's
many.
what size I've never offered. The 40
I
by
love the size. You know, I did the size. I told Jason on Tuesday. I did the size because I love the 20 by 20.
Mm-hmm.
I think is right there. Yep.
Yep.
And you can fit 4 20 by 20s in a 40 by 40. So when people look at this, I say, well, this is this price. They figure out the price. Or you can get 4 of these for the same price. You can do a maternity session, 6 month, or newborn, 6 month, 12 month, and you have 4 of these in your nursery. For the
Gotcha.
same price as a 40 by 40. And it works. And we sell 4 sessions for the price of 2. So they get 2 sessions for free. And people love getting these 20 by 20s because they're not too expensive.
Yeah. I sell 30 by 40s, but I just don't do squares a lot, but I like it. I might have
I
to.
do, yeah. I like squares too.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that the thing that's interesting with squares is that's not necessarily what they would think of when they're making a framed print or something else.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think it works in well with Instagram and everything else where, it's square.
point.
So you kind of
And I'm just
pulling
doing
those
square
two
for the
together.
fine art days.
Right.
That's what you saw in the museums, and that's what we
Right.
like as artists.
You're
And
so
it's back on Instagram.
so hip it's back, right? Yeah.
No kidding. Oh, I didn't talk about this one. This is not a Queensberry book. This is from Canberra, USA. They're out of business out of 10 years ago, as of 10 years ago. This is our double whopper product. This is $300 a page, and you have to see the inside. It's beautiful. I won't do it now, but because we can't even offer this anymore, so why show the inside? But it's a Louis Vuitton cover, 8 by 20 in size, or 20 by 8. $300 a page, minimum 30 pages. So what's that come out to, Jen? Are you good at math?
Wait, it was how much a page?
She is.
$300 a page, 30 page minimum.
300 a page, 30 page minimum?
Yep.
At $9,000?
$9,000.
Yeah.
Would you give me $9,000 for a book, please?
Well, you can't even sell it to me anymore.
That's exactly right. But I can sell you the Queensberry Duo book.
Yes.
So $9,000. How many of these books do you think I've sold in 12 years, Jen?
Well, they went out of business 10 years ago. So.
You're too smart for me. So 0. Jason guessed it right
That's
away.
why Jason has me on with him. I'm a little better at math than he is.
Right. Yeah, I'm not good at the
So-
mathing.
We've sold 0 of these books, but the whole point is to have something so expensive that you don't think anybody's going to buy it.
Yep.
Sometimes people will buy it. So
Yep.
I had a guy come in last Christmas, and I swear I don't make up stories. He wanted this book. He wanted this in 50 pages. $15,000 he's going to pay me. I was like, shh, can I cuss?
Yes. Go for
Yeah,
it.
Shit.
We encourage it.
I just screwed myself on this. So I go, I don't have that one anymore, but we can do the duo in 50 pages, and that came out to $11,250, something like that. And then he bought 3 parent albums at $750 each, so almost $14,000
Nice.
just by having a book that we don't expect to sell. Sometimes people will come in, they have the money to spend, so have a product that they can purchase.
Right. Right. And I'm sure that he probably felt, well, all right, well, I got this other book for $4,000 less or whatever it was. He probably thought he was getting a deal and still getting a beautiful album, right?
Right. The funniest thing was I didn't shoot the wedding.
What?
They're all cell phone images from Mexico.
What?
300 cell phone images from Mexico, from his wedding in Mexico.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Let's start a business doing that.
I know. I'll do that all day long.
Wow.
That'll pay for the kids' colleges.
Well, you don't get to go to Mexico,
It's true.
which actually after,
With those albums, you can go to Mexico.
right,
Right.
that's true. And not have to carry your camera bag.
Cheap, guys.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's a really short trip for you.
All right, next product. This is $220. They get a fully finished image that's matted with 8-ply mat. And we cut these mats at readymat.com. I think it costs us $8 a mat if we purchase 50 of these at a time. So we purchase like 100 at a time and just go through them. And our cost of goods is like 3% on this, if even. So I print these in-house, I touch them up in-house, and it's just something unique and different that doesn't cost a lot of money. So if clients don't want to buy what we'll talk about next, a $3,000 acrylic, we do have different options that they still get the fine art look and the finished look.
I know we're supposed to be talking about the products, but that image in your hand is gorgeous, JB.
Oh, thank you. I love that shot. That's from Seattle. And that's a photo merge. That's 3 different images, and also the city's enhanced to see Seattle a little bit
Oh,
more.
that's awesome. Yeah. Love that.
And then if they purchase 5 of these, they get a nice box complimentary that has a pretty logo on it. And we just print it like 10 of these at a time. I don't know if you can see that. So
Oh,
these
yeah.
mats just fit right inside.
That's cool.
Yeah. And don't ask me the company. I bought them so many years ago. I already forgot. But here's the next product. This is the same size. And this is actually got a frame on it. So it goes up to roughly 6 or 7% cost of goods. Again, I'm printing in-house. I'm matting in-house. I order the frames in bulk. I think they're $12 each or something. I pop them in there. The product's done. $4.40 each. Buy 3, get 1 free. So, and 4 of these on a wall look really pretty stacked up. So they can get 1 of these a session, or they can buy it as a gift for a loved one. So lots of different options in here. Not everything's going to break the bank. That's the whole point. We don't want to tap
Right.
people out and just take too much money up front because they won't come back. All right, Jen, let's hear your math skills again.
Oh, no. Okay.
This is a 60 by 20 acrylic, 250 a square inch.
Okay.
So if you got a calculator at home, 60 times 20 times 2.5.
No calculator. Come on.
And
Oh,
now you're
come
gonna,
on.
if
I
you
always
guys are
want to teach, like, I don't math. That's why I keep everything really simple. That's 3,000.
$3,000, exactly. So when a bride and groom come in for the first time, they walk in and they're looking around. The first thing a groom's going to do is say, "How much is that?" Actually, he says, "How much is that?" The 96 by 32, and that's $7,400. If I say $3,000 for this, they're not going to hire us for the wedding because that's pretty close to the package price too. They're like, "Okay, that's way too expensive for our product." So instead, I say that's $2.50 a square inch. Let them figure it out.
Yeah.
And I'll tell them it's a 60 by 20, $2.50 a square inch. Next we have, I'm an art major. This is a, oh my gosh, I forgot the name. I've already said it twice today. Acoustic?
Caustic.
I'm forgetting the name. It's been a long week.
It has been a long week.
It's wax poured over the top of an e-surface on a box with oil paints in there. I believe it's called encaustic art, if I'm saying that correctly.
Okay.
That starts at $3.50 a square inch. I've sold 3 of those, and it's kind of fun to make. One of them was this size, and it took me a couple weeks to make, but it was fun.
Did you made that by hand?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
I love making things. I took sculpture in college and screen printing, so anything I can do with my hands is kind of fun.
Well, and I think, as photographers, generally most people, enjoy, kind of doing, like you said, I enjoy doing that with my hands. So if you can come up with a product that isn't too labor intensive that you don't mind doing, it's not a terrible thing to, offer something like that, because when you make it yourself, it's a completely unique product that they can't get anywhere else.
It is. You almost don't want to turn it over.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep this one.
Well, it's funny that you say that. My brother's a painter, and there were years where he would make some of his best paintings, and he had this art gallery in upstate New York, and there were points where people were willing to give him money, and he wouldn't sell it to them because he didn't want to sell it to them. Wow. So that's a bad idea. Just always take the money, but he never felt like he was being offered enough to make it worthwhile for him. So, right. But yeah, if you can come up with something that, isn't too much work and you get some pleasure out of, working with your hands and doing that, you're creating a product that you can't get anywhere else.
That's funny you brought that up. I've said that to my wife before. It's a funny career to be in as a portrait artist, because you sell one piece of art one time to one person.
Mm-hmm.
We can't ever duplicate these. Nobody's going to buy these pictures of other people for their weddings.
Right.
These aren't landscape things we can sell.
Mm.
And I tell people that I don't want to spend $1,800 for one print. I said that today. My mother said that to me. I go, honestly, it's not just one print. It's one shot of your daughter you're never going to get back. This is a bridal session. And I try not to push it on too thick and be a salesperson.
Right.
I was being honest. This is something you can never photograph again, and I can only sell it one time. And
right.
That's what the value is for you. It's an original piece of art. Probably never going to gain value, but it's value in your heart. It's your child.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
And again, I try not to be pitchy with people. The product sells itself. That's
right.
been our goal, is to find products and vendors that make really nice stuff where we don't have to be too pitchy as salespeople. We can just be the photographers. They look around. They already know what they want, just depending on the price.
Yep.
Next, this is a great little addition. This is a 20 by 10, if you can see that, canvas. It's one of those thicker ones. So when people get a wall portrait, especially for a bridal session, I actually sold this today. They got a 20 by 30 frame from Bay Photo, and then they got a 20 by 10 canvas for the cake table. And I made this up years ago, and Diet laughs because that's apparently what I just do. I make stuff up, and people go with it. I said, well, you need a second wall portrait for your cake table. You put it right next to your cake. Apparently, that's not a thing. I just made it up, but now all of our brides do it. They get a second wall portrait, and they gift this to somebody on the wedding night.
Right on.
So now we're selling
That's
two
neat.
wall portraits instead of just one.
Okay.
And then we have some different sizes.
That's a great, that's a good sales technique. Cool.
All right, here's something that flopped for us. These are past competition prints.
Uh-huh.
I really thought people were going to dig this and want this. They like the panoramic stuff. I've never sold one of these. It's the same price, $440, matte, just like this, gallery style, buy three, get one free. I've never sold one. And it just kind of sits there. But I will say it does work. The images are so small, people don't want a 16 by 20. They want to go up to a 24, where is it, by 36.
Yeah.
Can you see that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This is another Jonathan Penny finished print. It did not look like that straight out of the camera. So he really made it beautiful. This kind of 96 in competition.
Mm-hmm.
That's Bethesda.
I remember.
New York.
That's Bethesda.
Just,
Wait. That's Bethesda Fountain?
Bethesda Terrace.
Oh, yeah.
That's where the homeless guy pees all the time, right there in that corner.
Yeah, I know this. I know the smell well.
I've stepped in that puddle plenty of times.
That's why I looked at it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the smelly place. Yeah.
Smelly place, exactly. The pigeons.
Yeah.
So this is a 24 by 36 with the gold frame from Bay Photo.
Mm-hmm.
And I used this today to sell a 20 by 30 frame from Bay Photo, because what does the bride always say? It's too big. That is a giant portrait for a bridal session.
Sure.
So this pushes the 20 by 30 pretty nicely.
Okay.
The last thing is the Whopper product up here. I'll take it for,
Whoop.
I had to take it back and drop the camera.
Well, before
so
before you move on to this Whopper product, I just want to make the point of, I'm really glad that you showed us something that, wasn't your, bestseller, wasn't, a fail, it was something that was a failure in your studio. And, I think it's really important to, make that show that point in what you're showing us is an evolution of the products that you sell, right? And
Right.
it's just not going to be, you're not picking out a Chinese menu where you're picking out, 3 from A and 2 from B and putting it together. You may do that in the beginning, but at some point you're putting your own menu together, and some of those things are going to work and some of them aren't. And it's great that you showed us that and gave us your reasoning behind that, because in your businesses, when you're choosing these products, there may be someone else who's selling them and is doing a great job, but it just may not work for you, and it's important for you to go through that evolution. Jen, are there any products in your business that you found the same?
As far as, I'm trying to think, I mean, I've had a couple of things that I've let go, but for me, a lot of it is I sell what I love, because if you love it and you're excited about it, your clients get excited about it too. So I
It's
tend
authentic.
to, yeah, absolutely. So I tend to sell the things that I love, and then the ones that I'm not as excited, I don't even offer anything that I don't love, but the ones that I'm not as excited about, like, never sell. Like, for me, I love acrylic covers on albums. I'm not huge on the acrylic wall art as much as I am the metals and things like that. So of course I photograph high school seniors. So for me, like, I love the fine art metals, and so I sell those all the time because I get super excited about it. And it's definitely genuine. My clients, I think I'm crazy sometimes, because I'm like, oh my gosh, this would look amazing on a fine art metal, and so I do sell, I definitely sell what I get excited about. So I haven't had any that are complete fails, except going back to the album stuff. When I very first started offering products several years ago, I did like a 6x9 album for a sample, and I was like, oh, I'll just show them this because it's less expensive for me to purchase, because I wasn't making enough money at the time. So I was like, it's less expensive, but then I'll tell them I have larger albums also if they want to get something bigger. And never ever ever sold anything but the 6x9 until I got a 10x10 in.
You gotta show it to sell it. Yep.
And then I sold the 10x10 every single time, but because next to the 6x9, it looked amazing. And then now I do a 15x10 is my Lux album, and the 15x10 sells about as much as the 10x10 does, about as often, because the impact it has when you look at it compared to the others is like, wow, the impact is fantastic. So
that's a great point. I kind of brought it up with this book, but we had to hide this book at some point because people were looking at the Queensberry for $2,500, and they were saying, do you have anything less expensive, like a Snapfish book? And they would see it on the shelf and they'd be like that one. It's like, oh shit. We actually took this out of the studio.
So you're like, see what? I don't see anything.
What are you looking at? We actually had to take this out of the studio because it was losing us money. And clients don't get this, but the same amount of work goes into this for me, touching up 30 images for this size, for that size.
Absolutely.
This is a third of the cost.
Yes.
That's all I can charge, because it cost me $60. If you mark it up times 10, $600, and you're making $540, and that's all they got from a 2-hour session. It just didn't add up. So we had to find what minimum we want. And if anybody's watching, past the 4 people that started, Jason, I like to tell people a great way to figure out your cost of goods. Figure out what you need to live. If you need $100,000, that's a really easy number to start with. I think they say the average is 120 for a professional photographer. That's what you should bring in your business. But let's just say $100,000. If you want to shoot 100 sessions a year, what's that, Jen? $1,000 a session?
$1,000 sessions, yeah.
That's what you go for. You go for $1,000, and then you try to keep your cost of goods at 15%. So that's $15,000 a year of your $100,000 gone. So now you need to make 115 or 117,500 to make that $100,000.
Right.
Bringing in $100,000 is a good place to start. You got to figure out how many sessions can I shoot, and then how much does that divide out into. For our family, we need to make $240 a year minimum just to break even. That's not paying for a kid's college.
Because that's 2 incomes, right?
That's exactly right. So our wife, so it's half me and half her.
Sure.
And this year, we're not even going to come close to that. This is going to be our worst year ever. But I'm really excited for next year, because it's going to be our best year ever by far. So that's a big thing. Figure out what you want to make in your business. Divide out how many sessions you can physically shoot. If you have another full-time job, maybe you can't shoot 100 sessions a year. I only shoot 50 sessions a year and 10 weddings a year. That's my max nowadays. Just being the age I am, I don't want to shoot more than that.
Yeah,
So
they get hard
maybe.
after a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Eric, my knees are popping as I'm walking
Yeah.
around.
Right.
Hey, I want to say one more fail. Jen brought up like 3 good points, and Jason, you said this too, to show the products that fail. This is such a beautiful product, and I bought 2 of them from Bay Photo. One that's opaque and one that's 50% opacity. We've never sold one, and they're $2 a square inch. It's not too much, but people just don't like the woods from us. Maybe they do somewhere else, but they just don't buy the woods from us.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Jen, you brought up another point, the metals. I think the metals are fantastic. I've never sold one. I got to show you one metal real quick. Everybody shut your eyes. We're going in the back room and it's kind of dirty.
No, I can't see anything.
Okay,
Can't see
good.
anything.
I
Can't
love
see.
this print. Is that too bright?
Beautiful.
No,
This
it's
is
fine.
Sorry about the fan. I'm in the bathroom, by the way. This is our boudoir room where we show
Mhm.
all of our boudoir prints. This is a 45 by 15 metal piece, glossy, which just, it glows in this little dark bathroom.
Mhm.
It's really cool. Sorry if that's really dark, but there you go. So I'll turn the lights all the way up. Another cool product.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Just never sold one. But it still looks pretty, and then brides will go in the bathroom and they say, oh, I need to book my boudoir session. So it works for that. So not
So-
every product works.
So make sure you get them
itself.
full of liquid so they go to the bathroom during
That's
your
right.
sales sessions.
Lots of champagne.
Right,
This one
champagne.
sells the mommy, me, and the nursing sessions.
Uh-huh.
So sometimes we're not just trying to sell products; we're trying to sell the sessions as well. So we leave them up.
I
Really
think
nice.
the wood, I think it's, I sell the wood prints sometimes, not a ton of them. I think it really depends on my sessions. So like, I'm actually getting ready to order some wood samples when I shot out in Oregon, last year.
Good
And
point.
I have, so I have like the, the images at the beach and in the woods and things like that. Those are going to be amazing on wood prints. So that's what I'm going to order for my samples for my wood prints any day now. As soon as I have 5 minutes to do it, I'm getting ready to order those. So, but I think it really, but if I have like the typical stuff that I shoot here downtown or whatever, it's not, I mean, it wouldn't look bad on a wood print, but it's not going to be like, wow,
Mhm.
So
Exactly right.
I give my clients my opinion when they're ordering, based on the images that they love. And I'll tell them like, this is what you need. Or sometimes they go based on their, their home decor, like what works in their home. If they have a modern home or a more traditional home or, a cabin in the woods. I've sold wood prints to people who have like lake homes and things like that too. So it really depends on their home a lot as well. So
Yeah.
But that's
No,
our
that's-
job.
that's
It's
a
our
great
job
point.
as business people, it's our job to guide them, right?
yeah,
And
absolutely.
they want our guidance. A lot
They
of these
do.
people have never shot with a professional photographer in their life,
Right.
Correct.
and they don't know what to do.
Right.
You know what they all ask nowadays? Can you put it up on a website and I'll pick? Nope.
Yeah.
If you do that, you lose the sale. You're losing at least 90% of your sale, 50%, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how we started out before we sold in person,
Yep.
and we weren't making enough money.
Same. We're pretty much the same person, JB.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to order all my awards off of like awards.com or
Hey,
whatever.
we got a trophy studio right here in Las Colinas, Texas. So calm down.
When I come visit, we're gonna go over there and get me some so I can make a shelf too.
And Aaron, if you're still listening in Seattle, Aaron hired me to come do a 2-day workshop with just him to really get his business started. And listening to people like Jen and Jason and myself, Aaron, you're listening to what could be horror stories for someone starting fresh. So selling in person is something you kind of have to do nowadays if you want to make money. You got to have the product. Like Jen said, you got to show the 10x10. You're going to be stuck with that 6x9. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to shoot for 2 days. He pre-purchased the Queensberry book. We're going to design the book. I'm going to sit down with him, make him order the book before I leave, so he has that product in hand to sell to his clients. And that's what it's all about.
Mhm.
If you have a product, people want the images. If they can afford it, they're going to buy it. If they can't afford it, make a payment plan.
That's right. And just as a plug for the group, if you can't get on the road and you can't meet JB in person, I actually suggest doing 2 of these. Is you could start with a portfolio site review with him, and you can get that on thegroup.com, and you can do a portfolio site review with him, and it's an hour session. He'll go over your website with you. All you got to do, this is a link to it right here. You just go on thegroup.com and you can get it there. But, JB, again, is one of the, premier, most well-awarded photographers in this country. you can't do yourself better than, getting some critique from him. And again, he's learned his craft, and he's going to be able to help you shape your image in the way that he's done for his studio as well. Right, JB?
Sounds like fun. I love doing that. I've been judging at WPPI for 13 years.
Yeah.
Everything I do, that's the one thing I love the most, is sitting down and just being inspired myself and giving feedback and helping people. I mean, you can only be inspired so long by looking at your own work. You got to look at other people's stuff and be inspired sometimes.
Right. And that's actually a good suggestion too, is to, get inspired by other people's work. Inspiration versus appropriation. Get inspired by other people's work by going and watching live image competitions. There's lots of them out there. There's a new one out there, I guess, called the Cosmos Awards that's about to launch, right? Yeah. That's a truly international group of photographers have put together I think it's cosmosawards.com. I'm really excited for what they're going to do. But, being able to look at other people's works.
Too, correct?
I am, yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it again. It's been a while since I judged. Buddy. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. So, all right. So are we, let's see, we are at about 55 minutes. So do you have anything else, JV?
Oh my gosh, 18 years of business. I got to think of something, right? But you asked me Friday at 5 p.m. You should hit me up Monday at 10 a.m.
No, I think we're good.
Blah, 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 blah.
I think we're good. I think we're all ready for a beer. It's Friday night.
I'll say one more thing just to close up. It's huge to have a Whopper product. And I love this because it comes from Burger King. When they made that 3-patty Whopper, or they made the 2-patty Whopper and nobody bought it. You guys know that in 82 or something? Yeah. What did they do? Did they give up on the 2-patty Whopper? They made a 3-patty Whopper.
Right.
And what did that do? It sold the 2-patty Whopper. How many people go to Whataburger or Burger King and order a 1-patty or a 3-patty Whopper? Not many of us. I always order the 2-patty because I feel comfortable purchasing something in the middle. It doesn't even matter if I can finish the whole thing.
Right.
I'm going to get it because it's in the middle. I don't want the cheapest. I don't want the best. The majority of us as humans want something in the middle. So that's what we do in our business with the albums we talked about today and the wall products. And this guy up here, I don't ever expect to sell a 96 by 32 metal piece from Bay Photo, but it's up there. It's expensive, and it pushes these smaller ones now.
Definitely.
But I think there's another point on that, and I remember watching Gary Fong speak many, many years ago, and he would talk about a Whopper. Gary, right? And anyway, another photographer out there who would talk about he creating a wish package where it was like a ridiculously priced thing that you wished that they would never buy it. It was specifically for that. But the problem with that Wish product is it was so labor intensive, it was so expensive to produce that you wound up actually not making a ton of money on it. So it's really important to create a Whopper product that you're creating something that is beautiful for your client, is reasonably priced within something, obviously it's meant to make them buy what's underneath it. But even if they do go for it, you can produce it at a price that isn't going to make you bankrupt, right?
Yes, correct.
And I think
being that 50-page, let's go back and see if I can find one of my notes. 50-page duo, cost of goods is 15%.
Right.
That's exactly where we want to be.
Right. Cost of goods still at 15%. Right.
And that was a lot of profit for us right before Christmas.
Right.
So don't be, I want to say one more thing, because I get this a lot being an older studio now. People see our prices, other photographers in their first year, and they're flabbergasted. Like, I could never charge that. You're right. It's your mental attitude. If you don't think you can, you never will sell it. I don't ever expect to buy a $15,000 album for myself or my daughters. But other people out there that have the money, if they don't care, they'll spend it. It's their money. So just have the product, even if you're not going to buy it, have it out there for clients that maybe could buy it. You never know who's won the lottery.
That's true. There's even a TV show dedicated to that. My Lottery Dream Home.
Too.
Well,
one day, send me 10%, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, anybody that's watching, if you hit the lottery, you're watching us today, you got to give us 10%. Deal?
Perfect.
All right.
I'm excited for you to get there, JB. He said in the comments, so that'll be fun.
Oh, cool. I'll see you there, Aaron. He's
Yes.
a good dude. He's been to 2 or 3 workshops. He's coming to Norway with me as well in November. So
Yeah, JB. So
Lots of travel.
let's close with the workshops you have coming up. Tell us.
I'm glad you asked because I did something just for your viewers. I'm going to leave it up for 30 days from now.
Uh-huh.
If they go to my website, SalleePhotography.com, there's a pop-up. And I'm going to pick not one, but 10 winners for a free workshop with me and also a free album from Queensberry. I'm
Wow.
going to help you. We're going to shoot together all day. We're going to do the Photoshop, then we're going to build the albums. We're going to place the album order that day for 10 people.
Wow.
So that's huge. I've never done it before. So I
Can
get
you
stuff
not
done.
be 2 of those 10?
Come on down. So I just want to do something fun and give back at this point in my career. It's like, what can I do for Jason? I mean, you guys don't know the whole story of Jason, but he's bailed me out a couple times in my career when I've done goofy stuff. So I love you, man. If I can give you something that helps get back to your viewers. I'm all
That's
about it.
awesome. Thank you, JB.
Yeah,
And
so go to the website.
Yeah.
Pop-up pops up. Just fill it out, and I'm going to pick 10 people. If it's
Nice.
only 11 people, 10 of them get it.
yeah, so if you're watching, you need to get on this. And I know a lot of people will watch this after the broadcast is over. So
Right.
get on it while you can. Get on it while you can. That's an awesome offer. And JB, while he has gotten himself in trouble a few times because he's a good guy. He's an amazing teacher, and that's why that's why he's still here. That's why he's still in our industry. That's why he's such a great person in our community. And you will learn a lot from this guy. So if you have the opportunity to see him speak someplace, or there's a work, or take advantage of these 10 spots, do it. You will learn a lot. I promise you. This guy knows his shit when it comes to lighting and post processing and selling. It's a good thing. So anyway, I think it's time for some beers. Yeah, you're welcome.
Yay, beer 30.
Yep, it is actually beer 33 right now here in St. Louis. So anyway, thank you everyone who's watching. Thank you everyone who is watching the rebroadcast. Jen, thank you for being on here, and of course, JB, I love you, buddy.
Love you too, man.
All right, bye everybody. Peace.
Bye, Jan. Good talking to you.
Hi, thanks, JD.
All right, this is always the hard
I guess.
part. Can Jason actually stop the stream and end the stream? Can he do it? Here we go. End
Now
stream.
I pan down and my pants are off.